Hello and good morning. Let's just adjust the seating. How are we all today? Welcome to Stampin' Chat. It is, I'm trying to think what the date is, 21st of June. Gosh, that's not a great start, is it? Let me check that I'm live in the right place. Bear with me a second. And a bit messy behind me, got my catalogues behind me. So today I'm going to be stamping with the Cup of Tea stamp set. No teacups in sight today, and the framed occasions, two favourites of mine from the annual catalogue. I've got the new mini catalogue on the brain. I've been crafting with new products and it's exciting. So these are two annual catalogue products. So of course this annual catalogue's kind of only just gone live. And trying to work my way through some of the new products that I have. Hopefully we will have some people hopping on today. I am on time, I'm just checking. Last week I turned up to my coffee and card a week early. What does that say for you? Typically me at the moment, my head, if it wasn't screwed onto my shoulders, I'm not quite sure where it would be. But yeah, had a little chuckle about it. It was totally fine. So I'm back again at the hub this afternoon. Going to be crafting with the garden greenhouse stamp because it's my favourite and it's going. So, okay, little bit of news to share with you today. We have free shipping. So if you're shopping online with me, if you're a regular online shopper, you will have an account set up with me. But if you haven't shopped with me before, it's really easy to set up an account and shop online. And if you're placing a £60 order today, you will get free shipping direct to your door. And of course, we still have the buy one, get one half price offer on our kits collection as well. So, and we've had some new additions to that. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn you down to my desk, make a bit of room. I feel like I've got stuff everywhere at the moment. I thought that was an alarm and it's a bird. Okay, bear with me. Set you down. Everything just moved around then for a moment. Have a little zoom. I've got to move that back. Always forget to do that. Put the light on and just wait for the catch up. It is a glorious morning here in Gloucestershire. Absolutely glorious. It was nice yesterday. The air is still chilly though. I don't know about you, how you feel about it. If you're in the shade, I was actually chilly yesterday. But yeah, I've got my shorts on this morning. It's warm in the studio today. It was actually chilly in here yesterday. I don't know why. Heating has gone off fully. No heating on over here. Let's just get this grid paper down. As you can see, I've printed off a little flyer just to remind you. Had some WhatsApp broadcasts going out to remind everybody about free shipping, just to let you know. Also, an email went out. So if you're not on my emailing list and you would like to be, please do get in touch, or you can sign up via my website at Kerry Timms. Hello, little man. He's come to say hello. kerrytimms.co.uk, and you can sign up for my newsletter there. So I don't bombard you with emails. I send out usually one every month to let you know what's happening in the studio as regards classes and things. And then of course, if we have any extra offers or promotions coming up, then I do let you know about those as well. So we've got free shipping today only until 10:59 p.m. this evening. So don't miss out on that. If you're local and you want to add to my order, that's totally fine. If your order isn't quite £60 to earn you the free shipping, get in touch and I can add on your bits and pieces to my order. And then of course, the buy one, get one at half price on our kits collection. These make fabulous gifts. Okay, so if maybe you're not needing one for you, think about birthdays that are coming up, even putting some by as Christmas gifts for friends, family, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever. They are fabulous because they have everything inside to get you going. So you don't need a whole load of crafty stash already. Okay, 2 favourites I'm stamping with today. Not using any of the teacups on this one. Just going to focus on some foliage. And then I'm using a greeting from here, and I think I'm using this little dot stamp as well. But love both of these. Of course, both of them have coordinating dies, so these are available as a bundle. So cup of tea stamps are £22, but if you buy them with the dies, they're 43. Let's put those dies over there ready. And the framed occasions actually coordinates with the beautiful shapes. You see me use this all the time, but they're not on a bundle. So just to confirm that, dies are £27, stamps are just £17. That is just amazing value. Love this set. I've done so much with it. As you will know, I will be sharing, well, I won't be sharing because I'm not allowed to open any covers, but these have landed. How can this be? How can we be having a catalogue with Christmas products in already? I'm not going to be going super crazy mad sharing this right now. Good morning, Belle, my lovely. How are you doing? Nice and sunny out there, isn't it? Love a sunny day. Yeah, I'm not going, obviously I cannot show you the insides, but let's just say loving both of these. So between July and December we have the new mini catalogue, and then between July and the end of August, so 2 months, we have Celebration, where you get to choose a free item from here when you spend either in this catalogue or the annual catalogue or on the clearance rack. So any qualifying £45 order will earn you a free gift from here. And I have got a couple of things to share with you. I haven't made anything yet, I don't think, but I've got some product that's arrived that I can show you. So let us make a start. Colour combo of the day. I have used this one before. So Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, 2 of our new in colours. And then we've got Balmy Blue and Pear Pizzazz. So love this colour combo. Let's set those out. Ready. Bound to be getting blue fingers by the end of this session. And let's bring in, I feel like everything is in my way today. Actually, I do have some samples to share with you today, stuff that I was doing at the weekend. So hope you had a good weekend, Belle. They come and go, don't they? They just come and go so fast. They come around so fast, and then before we know it, they have gone. Okay, lots of bits and pieces in here, but a lot of this is extras for stamping on, in case we have any happy accidents. I've got a little bit of die cutting to do, but let's start by folding our base. So usual size of 8 3/4, 8 3/4, 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. The brain is mushed. Honestly, I'm doing some daft things at the moment and saying some daft things. And then I have a layer of Orchid Oasis, which measures 3.5 inches by 5 1/8. Are we going to have another quiet day? I think everybody is taking an opportunity while this weather is good, either to get away or to get out and about. Layer of Balmy Blue measures 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then a layer, don't know what that is on there. Might have to use the other side. A layer of Basic White, which measures 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to start off with this layer. Now, both of these stamps are photopolymer, so do remember that you need a spongy mat just to help you get a much better finish on your stamped images. So I've got a couple of you coming on. Belle, yeah, you got together with the girls for the Creativity Now event, stamping and brunch. How lovely. I know, I was sad when I booked. I realised that we were going to be away racing that week and that weekend, and because it wasn't just a general race, it was a meeting where the historic racing was happening at the same time as Jason's general racing. So he races two different like series, one for the historic cars and then one for his general racing car. And he did think he was going to be racing at both, same meeting, but two different cars. And logistically, it just wasn't going to happen. It would have been a bit hectic, especially when you have problems with cars like he did on Sunday. So he spent a lot of time like getting his car ready after qualifying. So yeah, and the reason, excuse me, frog in my throat, the reason that I wanted to go was that there were going to be people there that I met in Switzerland when I went to the historic dinner in February. So that was the main reason that I wanted to go there, just to meet up with some of the people. I'm going to have a drink. Definite frog in the throat this morning. So let us start with a bit of stamping. So yeah, so I had to kind of, I was hot spotting from Jason's iPad to my Mac to try and watch the Creativity Now. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, which most of you probably won't unless you're a demonstrator, we had an event at the weekend. It was a virtual online event where we crafted together. We were able to pre-order a beautiful collection of products to use for the event, and people gathered together. If like me, I couldn't, so I stamped on my own, but we had step by step somebody demonstrating, so it was really great. It was lovely, and I'll show you my cards after. They're beautiful. I'm gonna have to cough excuse me, just to clear my throat. How annoying. Right, cup of tea stamps, so nothing to do with teacups whatsoever today. I'm going to ink up in Pear Pizzazz this lovely foliage. What can you see? Yeah, I'm in the middle. This lovely foliage here. I'm going to stamp one at the top. I can't see my card. And then I'm going to ink up and do myself another one at the bottom. Oh dear, that frog's really got me. Pop that to one side for the moment. So I've just created this on my layer. Next, let's do some flowers. You all know how much I adore this flower in this set. It has had so much love, and as you can see, I've put a little dot on the top of the, well, on one of the petals of this flower, and I've done that for a reason, because there are dies that coordinate with this flower, and luckily we have two. And then what I've done on the back of the die, I've also popped a dot in the same position as that flower. Okay, so you can see that lines up. So when I go to die cut these out, my life is going to be made so much easier, because I'm going to be able to line up these flowers so fast. Let's start with some balmy blue flowers. Now, I've done a bit of cutting ahead of time, so I'm just going to do one of each. But I am going to stamp more than one while I've inked up this stamp. Got a smudge on there, but that will be hidden. I'm going to do 4. I don't need 4 for this project. Give my stamp a clean. I cleaned off my chamois this morning. I was a good girl. and gave it a good clean. And then we'll do some in Orchid Oasis. I think this is my favourite new in colour. So I've stamped all of those with the little dot facing up. And just to remind myself, I'm going to put a little arrow there to point in the direction. Good morning, Helen. How are you doing? You've got an impromptu day off. Wow, lucky you. Lucky you. Let's grab another piece of cardstock. Give that Orchid Oasis one a little clean. So what are you doing with yourself for the day? I mean, it's a beautiful one. You need to make the most of it. And I'm just going to stamp some in Starry Sky. How beautiful does this flower stamp? I'm going to clean that off just so that nothing gets on it. And I'm going to trim myself one of each colour. Oh, let's leave that up that way. Let's put the arrow, otherwise by the time it gets to my machine, it could well get turned around. So I'm going to put those to one side. And I'm going to leave those on that strip because my arrow's on there. And then before I die cut those out, let's just do another little bit of stamping. Now I've got that shaky hand syndrome again today. Don't know why. My sugar levels must be low or something. I have just eaten my breakfast, so it's not that I need to eat. Maybe I need more coffee. Maybe that is the reason. Okay, although I've had my normal quota. So I want to use the Thinking of You from the Framed Occasions. I love the greetings in here. You know I equally love both of these sets we're using today. So let's just mount that one up. Helen, you're going to be washing, stamping and shopping. Tidying your craft room, that's a good one to do. And then gardening when it cools down. Yeah, I've got a little bit of weeding to do. So Saturday, we were at Donington Park racing. It didn't stop raining all day long. And I think that they had quite a bit of rain here as well. So, which I was thankful for, because I always worry when I'm going away about my vegetables. I mean, the outside ones aren't too bad when you're just away overnight, but in the greenhouse, although I've got automatic vents, like in skylights in there, so when it gets to a certain temperature in there, they automatically open, but it still gets incredibly hot, and it's just too hot. So I was thankful that it wasn't on Saturday, and that my garden had a bit of like natural watering while we were away. So everything is looking okay down there. Just inking up the Thinking of You. But because of that rain, there are now lots of weeds down there again. So maybe later I might get a chance to do that. We'll have to see. Right, I'm just inking up the Thinking of You like that. I love this font on here. Yeah, that's very true, Helen. The rain is good, but the weeds just want to come through then, don't they? And I keep talking to you about our driveway. We're still waiting for someone to come and spray it with weed killer. And it hasn't happened yet. So I have been pulling out a few weeds, but it's back-breaking and it makes my knees ache as well. So not the best of jobs. Okay, so we've got our greeting. Let's die cut these. So yeah, it's a busy old weekend. And now I feel like I've come back and I'm catching up with everything. Right, so layer 1, layer 2, and then my 2 clear plates for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then I need my 2 little flower dies and a bit of washi tape. This is very sticky, this one. start with these. They may be too close together to cut at the same time. So what I might do is cut one of these balmy blue ones. So my arrow is pointing that way, so my dot needs to point that way as well. Can you see just how quick and easy it is to line in? Really does help speed things up. I'm just going to run that through and then cut a couple of others. And then I've got some other ones cut ready. But I need to cut 2 starry skies. So that little arrow is very helpful because you're picking up these pieces, putting them back down. Apple's having a good scratch. Yeah, definitely still sniffy. Let's do that one there. Still a bit sniffy here. I don't know if that's a hay fever thing. Belle, I know you've been struggling as well. And I always say it would be nice if it just rained at night to water the plants and for the farmers, because obviously it's very important, the weather, for our farmers. Without them, we would very much be in trouble for food production. So we need rain, but why can it not just rain at night and then be gorgeous weather in the day? That would be a good plan. Okay, so I have got, oh, I need one more balmy blue. Let's cut one more while we're here. Arrows pointing that way. And then I've got something else sticking to me now to cut out as well. So we'll do that at the same time. Can't really see if that's lined up. And then I also want to use this hexagon die, duo die. I love these little dies that are like linked, make life so much easier. And I'm just going to cut those out. Let's tape them, because as soon as I pick this up, it's going to move. Put that little flower back where it belongs and just run that through very quickly. Oops. These plates do create a lot of static. Right. I'm going to save those for later. As I said, I've already die cut for the next projects. Also, my final card today, I'm going to try and squeeze in 3. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Just to get it off. I'm taking part in the global design project. So I'm using, it was Case the Designer, and there's a card on there. Come out. And I just thought, let's have a go at that. Instant inspiration for when you're looking for a layout or something. It's a great place to head. Okay, so I just die cut out 2 lovely hexagons. We've got our flowers. I think, oh, I need to do one more die cut. Bring that back in. And I need a hexagon, but I can't remember what size. Let's have a look. It's this one. And what I'm going to do, oh, where's my piece that I was supposed to cut? Exactly to the right size. I think I used it to stamp my flowers on. Let me just trim another. That wasn't very handy, was it? So I'd cut a strip. Needed a strip at 3/4 of an inch wide. Don't need it quite that long. And what I'm going to do pop that on there and create myself a new label. Right, let's try and have it straight. I think that's straight. It's a job to tell. My eyes are definitely getting worse. I must get that appointment made. I'm rubbish at making appointments. You know what they're saying? Is it they're saying, don't put off today what you can't do tomorrow. I'm always putting stuff off. It's a bit low, but we'll go with it. So it's not very even. We'll have one more go. Just because you know how fussy I am. If this one doesn't work. So I'm aiming to get these points in the middle of this piece. I'll just run that through quickly. And I've just created myself. Oh, thought I had a tear then. That's a little better. So I've just created myself like a little label using the hexagon. Alfie, where are you? I can hear you. He's down on the play mat. Okay, all our pieces are done. Let's start assembling. Move these inks back a little bit. So, all these pieces. So we're going to start with our basic white layer and then add on our Orchid Opulence. Where did that come from? That always happens when I'm using this colour. Orchid Oasis. Who remembers Orchid Opulence? It must have been a similar-ish colour. I can't exactly remember. I think it was slightly brighter than this colour. So I'm just laying that one down. Bang in the middle, and then my balmy blue layer is going to go directly over the top. To the left, and we've just got a very slight overhang. It's not where I haven't cut it right. I wanted it to just overhang, pull it that way a bit, top and bottom of the Orchid Oasis layer. And on my originals, because I designed these cards ages ago and they've been kind of sat in my box. I've got a box which is labelled, what is it labelled? Future Projects. And I had a couple of these cards in that box and thought, yeah, I'm going to use these today. And on my original, I created these before I had any of the Starry Sky cardstock, and I used Night of Navy. So both look really nice. But obviously for today, now I have Starry Sky, we're going to use that. Now this layer is going on here, but I want to add under. In fact, we don't need both of those. We could cut one of these in half. And I want to pop them under this layer here. So let's line up the points on a line. Oh, flicking it around. See, I've got like shaky hands. Pop a bit of Tombow on the bottom corner. That was the wrong corner, wasn't it? Oh gosh. Let's take that bit off. Otherwise it's going to stick on my grid. And put it on that bottom corner. Waste not, want not. That was another brain moment where my brain just didn't register that I needed to do it on the opposite side. And I'm just going to lay that down like that. Gently press and then just pull them together a bit closer. Now it's stuck to my finger. Now they've both fallen off. I didn't put the glue in the right place. Let's do that again. Let's put both of them together and they're going to stick to my grid now. lay that down roughly over on the right hand side. Pick them up. Come on, stick. Thank you. And just push that one in a little bit. So they're together creating a border. Just push you in a bit. See my glue, look at that messy bit behind there, but my glue is a bit high. So I've just created like a little border there, and we can pop that down now onto our base. I'm going to put a bit on those to make sure. Oops, got Tombow on my fingers. If you are joining, please do say hello. There's a few of you hopping on now. I'm crafting today with the framed occasions and cup of tea stamp sets. And I'm just going to pop this one down. This white layer is centrally top to bottom. This blue layer could have gone with going over a slight bit, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Make sure it's straight. Love that Tombow has that bit of wiggle room. Okay, so we've just got like this little banner under here, using the hexagon. And then I've just got a strip of Starry Sky, and the length of it measures 3 inches. Now I pulled this out of my scraps, but it is just over 1/2 inch wide. So any width would work as long as it's over sort of 1/2 inch. You don't want it too skinny because we're sort of hiding the gap in here. And then we're just going to pop that straight down. There's Tombow on my Tombow. Gonna have to wipe it. Otherwise every time I pick it up it's going to stick to me. And we're just going to pop that Starry Sky layer down. Let's just give it a wipe. Down onto the, in between the foliage. And then we're going to add in this little label or banner that I made using the hexagon, and just pop it centrally on that layer. And then we're just going to trim off our thinking of you. Hello Kim, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by, lovely to have you. Yes, you're in the evening over there. So good evening to you. How is your weather doing? Is it being kind to you? Good morning, Katie. How are you, my lovely? Long time no speak. You've got your last day off from an extra long weekend. Who doesn't love an extra long weekend? You've been doing lots of fun fold card experiments. That sounds exciting. Love a bit of fun folds. Right, so I'm just going to cut myself a couple of skinny strips of dimensional, the leftover parts, and we're going to pop that down in the middle. Oh, middle, I said, Kerry, middle. It's hard to see. I cannot see. That'll do. And I need to just grab some twine, trim. This is, oh, it's a dimensional stuck to that. This is the silver trim. It comes in a pack of 2. You get gold and silver. It's called Simply Elegant Trim. I adore this. I love it. It's not stretchy. Do you remember when we used to have this that was elasticated? So you're just heading into winter and it's getting chilly. Oh, bless you, Kim. Today is the longest day, I think. It is today, yes. Today is the longest day. How can that be? I'm just going to tie a little bow. So what I do is I make a loop and pinch it, fold around the back of it, and then push through that little gap and pull. Yeah, longest day already. How can that be? We need some warmer evenings to appreciate these lovely light evenings. You need to pull this trim very tight because it's quite slidey and it will come undone. Okay. Not the prettiest of bows, but let's trim off the edges. Move that out of the way. Take a little glue dot, which are now on the outer part of the roll. I'm just going to roll one up, pick it up, and pop it down there. Hiding my greeting a bit, that's fine. And then we're going to add in our flowers. What is that sticky on there? Off you come. Cannot have any sticky bits getting in the way. So we've got 5 flowers, 2 in Balmy Blue, 2 in Starry Sky, and 1 in Orchid Oasis. I can hear him snoring. What is he like? It's too hot for these animals though, isn't it? Way too hot. And then we're just going to like randomly... Tombo's gone to sleep. Give the end a wipe. That's it. Randomly pop some flowers on. Just to bring this bit of foliage to life a bit. And then we'll have a couple at the bottom. Just to balance it out. It's actually easier to kind of hold these down. You know how much I talk about my Take Your Pick tool. Absolutely. Would be lost without it. Use it all the time. And then to finish, because we've got the silver twine, I thought the basic rhinestones would work lovely with this. I think these and the pearls are my most used embellishment. Look at the putty. I'm still using this tiny little bit on here. I'm like reluctant to let it go. And we're just going to use the small ones on here. But it's still working. This little bit of putty is still just about doing its job. So why would I get rid of it when it's still doing its job? Katie, we've had the loveliest of evening skies lately. Yes, when we were at Donington on Saturday, as I said, it had rained all day. And the one team had put on a barbecue for the historic group, and we were under like this inflatable, I want to say it was like an inflatable gazebo, a huge, it's like a bouncy castle with a roof, but obviously no bouncy bit on the bottom, like a ward gazebo that was inflatable. I'm digging myself into a hole. I know what I'm talking about. It's like a big awning that was inflated, and we were all stood under there. And then it was raining, and then all of a sudden, kind of everything went yellow. The sky changed. It was very pretty, very beautiful, and it happened across the country. Loads of people were taking photos of it. It was absolutely beautiful. There we go. First card done. So yeah, it's been nice to appreciate the evenings. Just a little bit chilly for me to kind of sit out. So there we go. You can see maybe the difference here. This is Night of Navy. I did use Starry Sky ink, I believe, so I believe it was just this layer of cardstock that was different. So I quite like the Starry Sky with it more. So really pretty simple card, but focusing more on the cup of tea, because I know you all love it, and I know a lot of you've got it too. But focusing on just the foliage and flowers rather than looking at the teacups all of the time. Right, next kit. Yeah, it felt slightly like the end of the world, Katie is saying. It was strange, wasn't it? Because we were all stood outside, we were having a beer, and there was a barbecue, and we were just all like stood talking, and then all of a sudden, everything seemed to kind of light up. People's faces sort of lit up yellow. It was really weird, really weird. Okay, so for this card, we've got a balmy blue base, bringing in a bit of colour. I've got a scrap for some stamping. Have a layer of Starry Sky, which measures 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Just scrolling comments, make sure I haven't missed anybody. And then a layer of basic white, which measures 2 1/8 by 3 3/4. And then I've done a couple of bits ready. And just thinking, yeah. The brain, did you hear my brain thinking then? So I'm gonna clean off the pear pizzazz from here. I did give my chamois, as I said, a good clean earlier. Although I've been crafting with the white ink, and I obviously didn't clean it quite enough. It's still in there. So that one's nice and clean. Then I also need, from the cup of tea, this cute little leaf, which would make, if you were doing a border, this could be great for grass along the bottom. Love that little leaf. Then I also need, which I haven't got out, I'm looking for it, this little trio from the framed occasions. You can see the ones that I use the most. They are heavily stained. Oh, I've got bits and bobs everywhere, and I must remember to use this after on the back as well. So let's mount that one up. First of all, I'm going to pull in the Orchid Oasis, and I thought, rather than this like being foliage or grass, why could we not turn it into lavender? Will I get two that way? We'll try. Should be fine. So I thought this would, like, I know it doesn't quite look like lavender, it's not far off, but I thought we could get away with that. And of course, the teacup dies have a lovely die to cut those out. Yeah, I've used that set so much, or both of these actually, but the framed occasions I love the hexagon shape in there, and I love that it coordinates with the beautiful shapes dies as well. Right, we'll cut that one quickly and then come back and cut the other one. I've done a few other bits ahead of time. Don't you just love how our products coordinate? It's such a great thing that it speeds up our crafting, makes life easier for us. Right, let's just run that one quickly. And that was the one thing that drew me to Stampin' Up. Gosh, almost 13 years ago. How can that be? Was the coordination. And in those years, it was a punch. It was an oval punch that coordinated with a stamp set. That was how I found Stampin' Up, basically. Right. All the pieces back. I do just need another greeting. I'm going to use the same one, thinking of you. Line that one up. In the starry sky. Hold my breath. That will be fine. And then other bits and... Oh, I do need 2 little leaves. 2 little leaves, and then everything else is done. So it's this lovely little one in the Pear Pizzazz. And I have re-inked my Pear Pizzazz. It's quite dark. And that's the thing, if you don't re-ink, you're going to kind of lose the actual colour of your ink pad, because it's just going to get paler and paler, and then it won't really look like the actual colour it should. So again, Stampin' Up have been very kind to us and included 2 of these lovely little leaf dies. Now, am I going to be able to do these together, or are they going to touch? There's a blooming fly in here again. Always seem to be chasing them out. Oh, too close. Didn't budget for that, did I? If I got one I've done earlier, no. Have to run it through twice. No, we don't. Use your brain, Kerry. Use your brain. You can just run it through once if we cut them up. See, that's where my brain is just a bit slow at the moment. I mean, I'm not the speediest of brain people at the best of times, but of late seem to be doing some silly things. Be able to just use that once again, put those dies away. I just blame that age. Blame that on everything. Okay, let's get sticking. So, balmy blue layer, piece of starry sky. I've given you the measurement for that already. Let's pop this one straight down on. These 2 colours do go nicely together. And we're going to lay it at the bottom with a nice even border all the way around. And this layer here, I do need to do a little bit of stamping on it, but I'm going to do it after and hope that it doesn't go wrong. I always recommend to stamp before you stick, okay? So if you're going to be sticking this layer down but you need to stamp on it first, because if it goes wrong, you can turn it over and use the emergency side. So do as I say for this occasion, not as I do. So I'm going to pop this layer. I need to look at my original a minute. I'll put this one down first. So this little strip of Orchid Oasis, I didn't give you the measurement, I don't think. 3 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. It could just be something from your scraps. And I'm looking at my original and I've not placed it down centrally. And I don't know why. Could be because of what's going on the rest of the card, but I'm going to put it down centrally, a bit up from the bottom. Like that. And then the white layer, I'm going to go down on the top, in the middle, just kind of hovering into that area. Oh, that is a big fly. How annoying. Right, these pieces, I'm going to give a little bit of a curl. And you can tell that I've inked my Orchid Oasis as well, because it's definitely darker than the original card that I made. So I'm just popping one dimensional on the top of either of these, but I'm also going to add some glue to the bottom just to anchor them down. So just a little bit of glue. I think my finger went in that, and then I'm going to pop one down this side. And then one just overlapping on this side. So it looks like a little field of lavender. I mean, you've got to use your imagination well there, guys, but that was the thought. Let's just straighten that up. Okay, this is where I need to just do a little bit of stamping. And I might stamp this off. Didn't on my original. Let's get a little scrap going here. Yeah, I think I'm going to stamp it off. Have to be careful. Make sure that we don't rock and roll and get ink anywhere we don't want it to. So this is just like a little extra bit happening at the base. And then I've already die cut myself some more hexagons. And I want to lay these down. I'm going to pop a couple of minis behind there. Make sure I've got enough room down here. Pop that one there. One just below it. And one to the side of it. So the top one I've raised on a dimensional, and then the other two that are surrounding it are just flat to my card. And then my greeting, I'm going to snip into two. And the thinking is going to go flat down on. Can't pick it up now without getting Tombow all over me. That one's going to go straight down on because he's already raised on a dimensional. And then the of you, got one of these skinny pieces left. Pop that on there. Katie, am I applying for Artisan? I have already applied. And I live in hope. You've got a hope, haven't you? I would love to be an Artisan design team member. So I just need to make sure that I'm finding the time to be present everywhere. So, you know, it's not just about designing, it's also about sharing what we do, you know, social media, you know, it's a lot you've got to keep on top of. Because obviously, you know, that's what it's about. The Artisan design team are there to inspire us and they have to be present everywhere. So, yeah, trying to be conscious of that. So we shall see. There are lots of demonstrators out there who would love to be Artisan. So there we go. But you've got to be in it to win it, as they would say. I'm just pulling out, look, I've done some flowers ready. So I need 3 Balmy Blue, 1 Starry Sky, 1 Orchid Oasis. I mean, I am so inspired by the artisans. So they normally only pick 2 from each country. So, yeah. And obviously it depends on how many people enter and who enters. And quite often they re-pick someone that was there from last year. So chances are slim, but as I've said, if you don't apply, then you don't even stand a chance, do you? So yeah, as soon as I saw the information on the website, I applied straight away. It's like, don't delay, just do it. Okay, just pop in some flowers down, and then we're going to put another couple up here. I'm gluing onto my card rather than onto my flowers, so I'm probably going to have to move these around a little bit. Might want those to be a little bit lower in. Stay there, you. Now I've got Tombow everywhere, but we're going to hide that with some leaves. I'm going to have to put glue on the back of these just to wedge them in. Let's just pop those in. Oh, you look a bit crooked. Where are you going? There we go. Get rid of that bit of glue. You don't look right. I'm faffing now. Just look away. You know, just look away at this point. Right, let's leave it at that. The placement of leaves, I said leave it, Kerry, leave it, stop it. The placement of leaves is always tricky because 2 flowers, 2 leaves, you almost kind of need another one coming out here to balance it, but I've only done 2. So, Katie, you always think it's a good sign if you can recognise someone's work before seeing their name. And you can always recognise a Kim Fee card. She is amazing, isn't she? And mine as well. Thank you so much. That's lovely to hear. Yep, the wonderful Kim Fee. She does beautiful creations. And of course, she is a current artisan. Right, let's just squidge this putty up and add a bit of bling to the middle of our flowers to finish off. Not having any twine on this one, we're just leaving it fully blinged up. And there we go. Our little lavender-esque card. So my original, can probably just about see the difference where I've used the Night of Navy, but I do think I prefer the Starry Sky. So just to show, you know, the difference. Yeah, so using up the beautiful shapes dies, creating cards using those dies, and then using the cup of tea without any teacups in sight. So this final card, a lot of white space on this one, guys. A really quick, simple card. This one, as I've said, I was inspired by the Global Design Project. And this week's criteria is to case the designer. And there's a card up there, and you can case anything from it. So you can case the colours, you can case the layout, whatever you like. You can change it slightly. So I just thought, I've been wanting to have another go at the GDP challenge, and I just haven't got to it of late. So I thought, let's just do it today. So this card uses a base of basic white, and then my top layer is Orchid Oasis, which should be 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. And then I'm layering on top of that another piece of basic white, which will be 1/8 less. So it should be 3 5/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I've just taken off 1/8 of that layer. And we're going to pop these two both together. So let's just clean the end of that Tombow. Very quick, simple card. Something I don't do that often. You know me, I'm a layers girl. I love my layers. But sometimes less is more. Katie said I need the new tweezers. Yeah, I do. Do need those new tweezers. They're in the kit, aren't they? With the, let me see if I can find it so that everybody knows what you're talking about. Oh, are they in the new book? Yes. Can't show you. Have to wait and see. And then we're just going to pop this layer straight down on. How are we doing for time? Got Woody still. Toy Story. The children just love it. Okay, so very flat at the moment, this card. Right, next I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. Let's pull back in our mat because we're using photopolymers. And I've got a scrap here. I need to cut out a hexagon. I need to check. It's that one. Just needed to check what size it was. And rather than waste that whole piece and run it through, I'm going to snip it like that and use that bit after. So I'm just going to run that through my machine very quickly. Like that. And just got a couple of bits stuck on there from that bottom plate, which is a bit grubby. Then I've got some flowers done already. Need a couple of flowers. That one looks a bit of a funny colour. We'll swap it. Now I need to give this one a clean, so I'm going to go back to my Pear Pizzazz. Let's pull that one in. Just check that's dry. And we're going to stamp down onto our hexagon, so just above the bottom where it fits in. I told you I love this image. Maybe 10,000 times. And then in the set, you've got these flowers here. Let's bring the set back. So you've got this set here. Now they look kind of individual, but as you can see, they're all mounted on one. And they're kind of designed to sit in with this foliage, but you can use them however you like. So I'm going to ink those in Balmy Blue. Oh, they'll fit just around that little archway. And I need 2 of those tiny little leaves again. I should have done these earlier, but we can do them all at the same time. And we also have a fabulous die. So we need those 2. This die here cuts out all of those individually. So even though you might think, why are they all spread out when we're going to cut them out, it's so that they actually sit on top of that leafy image that I've just stamped. Now this is where you need to be careful about how you're mounting your stamps onto your blocks. This isn't quite lined up with my die. Obviously, let's just clean that a minute. If I'd have mounted it on and then kind of stuck it like that, you can see that it's actually not going to line up with the die, which is when I tell you, lay a stamp down and let it find its own way and then pick it up with your block. And that should be in the right position to line up with the corresponding die. Right, that one might be big enough to do that one. Got one little piece here. There. Can you just see that one isn't quite lined up? But if I move it, then it's going to chop off one of the other flowers. Run that through quickly. So originally I was going to be sharing some creations from the new July to December mini, and then I thought, no, I'm going to give it another week. I'm definitely not ready to be crafting for Christmas just yet. Probably won't be long. You know, as crafters, we sometimes do our Christmas in July events. But I'm hoping to sort of share some things that are not too festive to begin with. I can hear an alarm going off. Right, I'm just going to pop these back where they belong. So they are nice and safe. And then I just need to do, let's take those off, my greeting. I've got several strips here in case I miss. But that's what I love about photopolymer. I mean, look how tiny this little greeting is. I'm going to ink it up very gently, tapping in. I don't want to create too much ink on here. I'm going to line this very skinny strip up with my grid. Hover, not breathe, or talk, and stamp. Oop, and then drop it. That's the one thing I love about photopolymer. You can just see where you are going with ease. Right, we've got all of our elements. Let's start building. I'm going to snip off the ends of here because that's just way too long. And I'm going to pop some dimensionals under this hexagon. That was rather random. Let's move that over a little bit. Pulling slowly so it doesn't tear. You know, I like my dimensionals, but I try not to overuse. I think that'll be enough to make it balance. And then we're going to pop that part the way down from the top. So this is how the sketch was. When I pop these on images of these cards on Facebook and Instagram, I will link to the challenge because that's something that you have to do if you're taking part. And then we'll add in, move these little flowers here. Just give them a bit of a curl. These I might put on dimensionals, just because I can, and because there's not a lot else going on in this card. If we can't have a bit of height and a bit of depth, then it's a poor job. So we'll pop one in here, one up here, turn you round, prefer you that way up. And then these other little ones, we're just going to dot in teeny bit of Tombow. If you squeeze gently with this Tombow, you've got quite a lot of good control with it. And we'll just pop these. Oh, down on. Like so. You can put them anywhere you like. Next we'll add these two in. So these are the Orchid Oasis ones. And we'll just pop those down here. And I did wonder whether this might look a bit odd because it's like floating grass. I did have like a strip of Starry Sky that I was going to kind of put across the bottom, so it like had a, like it was attached to the ground, and then I just decided to leave it off. So I think there could be room for improvement on that side of things. But it's so simple and quite minimal that it's open up to lots of different things happening with it. So different layers behind. Stay. Now that should be my little greeting. Want some skinny bits of dimensional behind there. Better have 3 on there just to balance it out. And then we're going to pop that one just down underneath. Is that central? Let's leave it. Could get the ruler out and measure it. It does look slightly to that side, but my card is made with my loving hands. So if it's not completely central, I don't think anybody will complain too much. We'll just add in some more rhinestones. You could, of course, let's do larger ones for these flowers. We could, of course, added in a bow with that silver twine, but I wanted it just to remain simple. The sketch, the card that we're casing for the Global Design Project Challenge is very simple. There's, you know, not a lot happening on it. So that is it. Very, very simple. Here's my original. Almost identical, apart from like placement of flowers and things. So you could step this up. I'm already thinking, yeah, it is very much white, a lot of white space. Alfie's right under my feet. Nearly stood on his tail then, bless him. You could spritz on the background. You could use a blending brush to add a bit of colour. You could emboss this layer. Whatever you want, the world is your oyster. You can add, that's a great thing about simplistic cards, you can add so much to it, but I quite just like the simplicity of it. Let's move some inks out of the way and bring in the creations. Don't know why I always put both in. We only need one of each really, don't we? Not that one, because it's got the different... It's got the Starry Sky, rather... Had the Night of Navy rather than Starry Sky, so... Thank you, Kim. You like this one? Do you like the one that I've done for the GDP? It's very simple, isn't it? Very simple. And like I said, you can add to it. You can even take away from it to make it even more simple. So, Katie, you love all of them. As always, thank you, my lovely. That's so nice to hear. Helen, you love the simplicity. Very chic. Yeah. Little bit of glitz on there just kind of brings it to life, doesn't it? But a bit of partial embossing would be nice, just kind of maybe across that way, you know, with our new like skinny embossing folders, say skinny, you know, maybe a bit of just partial. That would have looked nice behind there actually. Just to give it a little something something if simple cards are not your thing. So thank you everybody. I've got a couple of things to share with you. Locate them. So as I mentioned, can't quite believe how it's happening, but we'll be working with Christmas from next month. So these two will be live in July. A couple of things to share. Let's bring my basket. So I need inks right out of the way. So I was able to order ahead of time this beautiful bundle. I ordered a collection, so it came with pattern papers and embellishments and ribbon. Let's grab them. So this is a seam binding in soft seafoam. How pretty is that? Haven't used any of these trinkets yet. I need to, but they are copper, I think. They look very coppery. Can't even open them. There's 20 in here. Uh-oh. Good job it's not sequins. They would have been everywhere. How pretty are they? How beautiful. They're kind of like... They're not gold, they're kind of like champagne-y gold. Absolutely beautiful. So those are the open leaf trinkets. They go with this suite, but look at this set. How beautiful is this? And these, it's a bit like two-step, but they don't sit directly underneath. So this one works with this stamp and this one works with this, but they don't line up exactly the same. Let's show you. So this is one of the cards. I have tweaked my cards a little bit, of course, because that was just me. A couple I've tweaked to the original designs, and stupid me went away racing for the weekend. I packed all of my craft kits on Thursday night, what I needed, forgot to take a paper trimmer. I mean, not the best plan, not the best plan. And we had no TV all weekend because the satellite dish was just like spinning around on top of the motorhome and would not find a signal. So, and it's right above, Donington race circuit is right above a flight path, literally 5 minutes from an airport. So whether that had anything to do with it, but can we just appreciate, especially these dies, how beautiful they are. This was another one. I did tweak this slightly because the images were done in Memento. So we've got embossing, a bit of craft white ink I've daubed on here. This is part of the DSP. This is also part of the DSP. So this is coming in the mini catalogue. And then I've also got 3 other cards. I'm just going to flash them quickly because I may use them for a class. But yeah, I've designed some cards of my own using those. So there were a couple of other projects that we did at the Creativity Now. So that was what sneak peek of something coming in the catalogue. And then, sorry, I've got these cards put behind. One of the Celebration freebies is this cute little hippo set, the hippest hippos. And then we also have the option to choose the die set for free. So if you spend £45 during July and August, you can choose the hippos. If you spend £90, you can choose both the stamps. How cute are these? And the dies, they're individual. So if you spend £45, you could choose just the dies. And then let's say the next month you spend £45, you can choose the hippos. So you don't have to spend £90 all in one go, they're individual. But look, I have been playing with some of these. Look how cute they are. Love those. I've got one quick card that I did. Okay, using just the die. So no hippos in sight. But I also used, where are they? The Splendid Stems, this one here, for the greenery on here. So look at those umbrellas, so sweet. So the umbrellas are in these dies, the hearts are in these dies, the flowers are in there. Cute, hey? Very cute. So that's just a little sneak peek of what is coming our way. Move that basket out of the way. So yeah, lots going on, lots of new products winging their way to play with. Just need to make more time to be creative. So anyway, what are we doing for time? 5 to 11. I need to grab a coffee, pack for my coffee and cards. So if you're local, I'm at Ashelworth Hub, just down the road from the studio. 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, coffee and a card, £5. Come along and have a chat. I know there are some local people that are watching. I know you're local, Katie. I'm not suggesting that you need to come and see me and spend some time with me. But I know there are other local people that do watch because they tell me and they just don't pop up on the conversation. So, but I will be there this afternoon. So I need to pack everything ready for that. I've got a box of goodies to unpack that have arrived as well with some orders in. Yeah, a lot to do. A lot to do. So I will love you and leave you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're catching me on YouTube on the replay, I love to read your comments. I do try and reply to all of them if I can see them. But thank you for stopping by if you have found me on YouTube. My numbers are gradually growing. I don't know whether I've got enough people now I can go live via YouTube. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know. So your car's gone in for an MOT, Katie. What a shame. Never mind. Never mind. Another time when you're not working, of course. Okay, so I'm going to bid you farewell. Thank you for stopping by. Please take care, everybody. And I'll be back with you with some new July to December products very soon. So bye for now.